Here's what to know about movies coming out this month. Welcome to Movies Ahead. In our first weekend of May, we've got 4 releases. Animal Farm is an animated adaptation of the classic novel by George Orwell. The novel is an allegory in which animals on a farm launch a revolution and overthrow their farmer. They then try to establish a free and equal society, but that may be harder than it sounds.
This is less than yesterday. Or more than tomorrow. Depends on how you look at it.
It's directed by Andy Serkis, who is best known for his acting roles as Gollum in The Lord of the Rings and Caesar in Planet of the Apes. But he's also directed Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle, and Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Deep Water is about a group of passengers on an international flight from LA to Shanghai. Unfortunately, the plane crashes into the ocean and the survivors are now stuck in shark-infested waters. Come on. And this is not the first shark movie by this director. He also did Deep Blue Sea in 1999. Holcomb is the newest horror movie from writer and director Damian McCarthy, who did 2024's Oddity, which I thought was really scary. Holcomb stars Adam Scott as a horror writer who has traveled to Ireland to spread his parents' ashes, but he's staying at a remote inn that is thought to be haunted. And of course we have the long-awaited sequel, The Devil Wears Prada 2. The first movie came out 20 years ago and followed the story of Andy Sachs, a young journalist who gets a job at one of the world's most famous fashion magazines. It's a fast-paced, high-stakes environment, but the worst part is that Andy's boss is the brutal editor of the magazine, Miranda Priestley.
I don't understand why it's so difficult to confirm an appointment.
No, I'm so sorry, Miranda. I actually did confirm
Details
last night.
of your incompetence do not interest me.
In the sequel, the main cast returns in a story that has Andy going back years later to try and help Miranda evolve the magazine with the times. The same team of writers and the director have all also returned for the sequel. For the next weekend, starting May 7th, we've got 3 more movies. The Sheep Detectives is a comedy mystery where a shepherd becomes the victim in a murder case, and his flock of sheep, who he read mystery novels to every night, try to solve the case.
What is that?
I think it's a road.
But what is it made of?
Well, not grass, I can tell you that.
Is being produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who just directed Project Hail Mary. It's got a huge voice cast, and its director is known for doing Despicable Me 3, Minions, and Minions: The Rise of Gru. Billie Eilish Hit Me Hard and Soft in 3D is Billie's newest concert movie. The unique thing here is that James Cameron, known for innovating film technology on movies like Terminator 2 and Avatar, has co-directed this movie to try and make a concert film that feels new and different, primarily through the use of 3D. Mortal Kombat 2 is the direct sequel to 2021's Mortal Kombat Reboot. The same director has returned for the sequel, and this story revolves around the character of Johnny Cage. In the video game series, Cage is a Hollywood movie star that does enough of his own stunts to be a great fighter.
It's showtime. Get over here!
And on to the weekend of May 15th. Is God Is tells the story of twin sisters who are sent by their mother to assassinate their abusive father. It's a thriller, but it kind of seems to me like a modernized Southern Gothic fairy tale or myth. Characters have names like the Monster, the God, and the Healer.
Why don't you sit with me? Seems like we got a lot to talk about.
Obsession is a horror movie about a man who uses a toy to wish that his crush would fall in love with him.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
But there could be some unforeseen consequences. The movie is written and directed by Curry Barker, who you might have seen here on TikTok doing comedic skits with Cooper Tomlinson, who also has a role in the movie. In the Grey is the latest movie from Guy Ritchie, who is known for movies like Sherlock Holmes and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And this movie seems to be in classic Guy Ritchie tone, as it follows Jake Gyllenhaal and Henry Cavill as elite operatives performing a complicated heist. The Wizard of the Kremlin is a French film, but in English. It's a historical fiction story that stars Paul Dano as a Russian filmmaker that ends up being an advisor to Vladimir Putin, who is played by Jude Law during his rise to power. On the weekend of May 22nd, we've got 3 more movies. I Love Boosters is a comedy crime thriller about a group of shoplifters that decide to target a specific fashion designer's stores.
It's not even that yellow in here anymore.
You okay?
And it's written and directed by Boots Riley, who is known for 2018's Sorry to Bother You. Passenger uses America's highways as the setting for a supernatural horror story.
No way.
When a couple decide to live life on the road in their van, they witness a terrible accident, but things only get worse when they realize an evil presence is now following them. The director also did The Last Voyage of the Demeter and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This weekend also has the newest Star Wars movie with The Mandalorian and Grogu, which continues the adventures from the Mandalorian TV series on the big screen. It's written and directed by the same team who have worked on the series, such as Dave Filoni. Jon Favreau is directing, but just as a reminder, he's also known for directing Iron Man and Chef. The movie has Pedro Pascal returning as the Mandalorian, but also adds Sigourney Weaver and Jeremy Allen White to the cast. If you'd like to know more about where we're at in the story so far, I'll be doing a breakdown soon, so keep an eye out. And on to the last weekend of the month, starting May 29th. The Breadwinner is the first movie from popular comedian Nate Bargatze. He stars in the movie and also co-wrote it. It's a comedy about a dad that usually works for a car dealership, but has to become a stay-at-home dad when his wife makes a deal on Shark Tank.
I'm out of here.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Your wife is having the moment of her life and you're stuffing your face? You're a bozo.
I thought, are you allowed to talk if you're already out?
The director has worked on several comedy series like Silicon Valley and Son of Zorn, and also directed Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Backrooms is a horror movie that has had a long and interesting journey to the screen. It started as a creepypasta, which are essentially horror stories that are spread through the internet. The Backrooms started on a 4chan thread in 2019, and in 2022, a YouTuber named Kane Parsons made a series of short films about it. They got to be so viral that the same YouTuber is now the co-writer and director of the movie produced by A24. It follows Clark, a man who discovers a strange doorway in the basement of a furniture store. And I think that's all we need to know.
Found a place. It's massive in there.
It just goes on and on and on.
And our final movie is Pressure, which stars Brendan Fraser as Dwight D. Eisenhower and Andrew Scott as one of his captains in the 72 hours before D-Day. D-Day was the largest seaborne invasion in history, but the decision to launch the invasion that led to the end of World War II was not an easy one to make. There were many risks involved, and the story explores how that decision was almost not made.
The final decision on the timing of D-Day will be mine, and mine alone.
If you invade tomorrow, they're going to be washed away.
The director previously did Hotel Mumbai in 2018. And that wraps up our movies for May. Which ones are you looking forward to? Let me know.